So once there lived a successful businessman. In elite circles, he was called the Baron, the Mughal, the Tycoon. He could source anything from his material world except the elusive wisdom for his only son, born with a silver spoon. One day, his phone rang amid a busy day, but he had to take the urgent call. He needed to hear what his butler had to say, for his household depended on this person for matters big and small. Yes, Gopal, tell me quickly. The busy baron crankily answered the call. Sir, please come home soon. The panicky butler sounded alarmed. Junior! Junior! Cried the father, as the fretful, fervent figure barged into his home only partially informed. But the shrewd, sagacious sire clearly sensed the chilling calm before a brewing storm. The man stormed through the corridor like a tempest itself, draped in expensive tailored wool. His polished shoes echoed across the marble hall like a man who had truly lost his cool. Where is Junior? Barked Deepak Devaraya Singh, the senior, like he really meant business. Then he himself called his son, who to him mirrored his blood and temper, but not his zeal or brilliance. He marched towards the boy's bedroom door, the one now shut like a vault, and knocked, not once, but twice, with a pause in between, as if the silence might confess some fault. Junior? He called, this time softer, not out of patience, but out of fear that he wouldn't answer. Inside, no rustle, no sob, not even a whisper stirred the air. The kind of quiet that made even a Mughal taste despair. Earlier, the boy used to turn the house upside down with his outlandish antiques. But the uneasy calm today sent his mind racing, his thoughts becoming frantic. Deepak Dev Jr. had locked himself up in his bedroom willfully. What's the matter? Will anyone tell me? The boss imposed upon his army of household staff gathered outside the boy's bedroom. And, baffled by the boy's blatant behavior, the butler said, the door was closed from within all day, and the boy didn't respond to my calls. I only dared to disturb you, sir, after having spoken to a wall. Dear Gopal, came the reply, sharp with frustration. Was it too much to ask a cupbearer to see him fulfill his most important task? Sir, our tantrum thrower has reached his limits today. The flustered butler hushedly gasped. Then what do you suggest? Asked the boss to his loyal servant and confidant. But the butler seemed to have no clue. He happened to have heard about a mind shaper, however, but he doubted if his knowledge could be 100% true. Fetch the tutor anyway, ordered the boss. But the boy needed to be convinced to come out before he contemplates self-harm, said the concerned father. Shaken by the eerie silence, he sounded frightfully alarmed. You see, when he locked himself away, his silence hung heavy as a storm cloud. Thankfully, he emerged from the room as soon as he heard his father make the vow. The father agreed to fulfill his wish. But the tutor, who was promptly summoned, was only given the incomplete view. It was now up to him to navigate the maze of partial truth. For the father, it wasn't easy to discuss his predicament as he didn't know if he could trust the unknown tutor. The tutor, however, showed the merit of this experiment by approaching the problem like a straight shooter. He deduced maybe it was a cry for help, an appeal for intervention to an underlying invisible cause. The tutor sounded like an expert who came, who saw, and conquered the hapless father's vulnerable heart. The impressed father then lamented, "He has everything money can buy, except the common sense to know money can't buy everything." And the king, without a crown, continued to explain the flip side of his spoiled prince. "My son is a slacker. He avoids work or effort, not only of academic sorts. 2 days ago, his audacity was at new heights when he even wanted his friends to be bought. Can you believe that? He asked me to buy him friends," the ashamed father complained. "As a businessman, I raise huge profits. But as a father, I failed to raise an obedient son." The father brought forth his state of paradox, with a hint of unintended yet situational pun. The tutor paused, his voice lowering, like a teacher delivering both truth and tenderness. He said, "Sir, a father's legacy is either a ladder to lift or a load to weigh on his son's tender heart. It is a force that shapes his story. Its start, its build up, its end, every part." The words lingered in the air, poignant, piercing, profound, like truth unearthed from silence, echoing all around. For a moment, the room held its breath. The father shifted uneasily in his chair. His pride prickled, his mind resisting what his heart could no longer spare. He looked at the tutor, not as an employee, but as a man who had just held up a mirror. In its reflection, he saw not just his son's confusion, but his own error clearer. The weight of years spent absent, the cost of success tallied in silence, rose up like a tide against his carefully built wall of neglect, denial, and quiet avoidance. And when he finally spoke, his voice carried no command, only ache. He said, "Sir, please have compassion on me. It is not the boy who is to blame. His ignorance is mine to own, born of my pride and my endless chase for things, only left my son feeling neglected and alone. I love him more than he will ever know. So help me before the damage is too deep to undo. Not just for education, but for redemption, I seek your wisdom to guide us through," he pleaded. "State your price, your fee. Tell me if it is gold you prefer." And in his desperation, the man in expensive suit once again erred. The tutor replied, "Your golden glitter don't tempt me a bit. but I dearly respect your noble feelings. Still, you may change my name if I fail to make your child a diligent, dedicated, and industrious human being. Wow, that's a relief. What is your name, by the way? Asked the Baron. Robin, came the tutor's simple reply, without any pretense or grandiosity. For a moment, the name hung in air, grounding the room with its quiet hum. No fanfare, just a quiet marker of what was to come. The father, still unsettled but desperate, watched the tutor, as if expecting him to offer more than just a name. But Robin's steady gaze was all he received, as if to war, self-serving pride and love are never the same. Then, with a calmness that dulled the father's pain, Robin met his gaze and gently spoke again. The act of gathering knowledge is a noble pursuit, sir, as the art of learning can never be borrowed or bought. It's my duty to teach the baton bearer of the future, O man of affairs. Dharma of a teacher is just to untie the knot. The father watched, caught between doubt and hope, still unsure if this was the solution. But it is easier said than done, Mr. Robin. He sighed, his heart a swirl of fear and confusion. I can't deny the boy has a spark, a fire that only needs some help. Some talents hide like pearls in shells, too shy to show themselves, said the teacher. The father replied, I fed him gold, but starved his soul. Too blind in pride to see, I regret, oh, I regret bitterly. The apple has fallen far from the tree. You see, the realization of one's ignorance is the beginning of being wise. For without self awareness, pursuit of knowledge is detrimental to personal growth. Even though my stories will be part truth and part lies, they have benefited several teachers and learners both. So don't you worry, dear parent, for only fools despise knowledge gathered from the invaluable lessons taught. The innate learner in the so-called brat, as you mentioned, just cannot hide his interest in the fantastic stories I have got, the tutor said reassuringly. He then insisted, so let him accompany me for as long as it takes, and I'll teach your child every day. I can't say if he will become a great businessman like yourself in the future, but he will surely become a responsible individual anyway. Now the father felt relieved to find someone as headstrong to cope with someone as stubborn. The tutor's assurance was like a shot in the arm, and to the motivated father, success now seemed somewhat certain. He said, I have heard that teachers are lighthouses who guide lost ships in turbulent seas. You'd better go ahead with your plans, sir. Right away, if you please. Well, things have settled for now, and the ball is now in the tutor's court. The father breathed a sigh of relief, now present only for moral support. And the boy was duly summoned and introduced to the teacher. I am the one your father has hired, especially to help him buy you friends. However, without your help, I'll soon be fired.
for I alone cannot fix the loose ends. Will you help me? Robin asked politely. How can I help you? Deepak Dev Jr. politely countered. You just need to answer some questions, he said. Fire away, the boy said. So why do you want friends? Because I don't have any, he replied assertively. And what kind of friends do you want? Of every sort, he said without hiding his utter disdain. And he added, I want them to mirror all my hobbies and interests, and they should always be available to me. Last but not least, they must never argue, but rather always agree with me. But this could be done by your servants as well, quoted the tutor. The boy clarified, yes, but how can they keep my secret safe when everything they are asked to do is considered as part of their work? How can I trust the bunch of scribes, butlers and clerks who won't lift a finger without a salary or generous perks? Everything they do feels like a job being carried out by a bunch of hired lot. Don't you think owning the same for the same set of work is worth the shot? How shallow of him. How shallow of him to think that friendship is about getting someone to work for you in kind. And then Robin reflected on an idea that softly knocked at the back of his mind. I should weave all my stories around this pivotal concept that has so aptly come along. It is best to seize this moment even though the proposition is as illogical as it is morally wrong. He said to the boy, I get it. Yours is a noble pursuit, and there is nothing wrong in getting it done by bucking tradition. I will still help your father get you friends if you fulfill the following condition. And what's that? The boy asked intently. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story. All you need to bring tomorrow is an open heart and an eager mind. The boy readily agreed to the condition, thinking there is no harm in having a little story time. So this is our story time.